Part 2. Azure Moon. Harpstring Moon. The King's Triumphant Return. Following the death of Rodrigue, Dimitri begins to question his desire for revenge. His troubled mind turns to the kingdom capital and how he might end the chaos plaguing Fargus once and for all.
Our victory at Gronder was certainly a turning point for us. However, Rodrigue's death has been difficult to bear. We've lost considerable military strength and resources.
Are there no lords we can rely on?
Unfortunately, with things as they are now, I don't think House Gautier has any resources to spare.
I'm sorry. I really wish we could help. If only House Galatea had anything to give.
If we split up the soldiers currently defending the monastery, we should have sufficient numbers to invade the Empire. But even then...
Your Highness, you should be resting. Your wounds are still healing.
I am well, I assure you. More importantly, may I have a moment of your time? Thank you. I wish to apologize to all of you. I have led you down this dark path with me, and have caused so much suffering along the way. I cannot tell you how sorry I am for my behavior. There is no apology I could offer that would be sufficient.
And how do you intend to make up for my father's death?
Felix, I realize words alone are not enough to repent, but I fear they are all I have.
I'm not after more empty words. I want you to speak through your actions.
I know that no amount of regret can ever bring back the lives we have lost. I know that well. It is like patching up a tear with a different material. Things can never be as they were. The best I can hope for is to make things whole again. I wish to do the right thing from now on. That is why I have made a decision. I intend to take back the kingdom capital. I wish to save our people, those who I turned my back on for far too long. To follow my heart and do the right thing. That is the only way I can atone for my sins.
Your Highness. If we can win back Ferdiad, it will give us the advantage in our war against the Empire. As one who has served the royal family for ages, know that your words bring me great joy and pride. That said, I must point out that if we make for Ferdiad, the Emperor's head will slip further out of reach. Can you live with that?
I still hold hatred in my heart for her, and for the ones responsible for the tragedy. That I will carry with me until death. But my life is my own. It belongs to no one else, and it is high time that I started living for what I believe in. I will no longer allow the voices of the dead to bind me. This is something that I must do. No, something that I am choosing to do. I will accomplish my aim, even if it means risking my life to do so.
Understood, Your Highness. So, any objections?
Count me in.
You are correct. We cannot afford to die in vain by recklessly challenging the Empire.
I'm worried about Lady Rhea. But if this is the choice you've made, I support it.
I am at your command, Your Highness. I will follow you anywhere.
My sword is at your service, Your Highness.
I'll help too. The people in Ferdiad need us.
Fine, I'll help you, in my father's stead. But in return, you must win. You know that, don't you, Dimitri?
I do. And I swear on my father's lance that we will prevail.
Then it is decided. It seems this war council has much to discuss. Our next stop is Ferdiad, the kingdom capital, for the future of Fargus.
Hey, we can finally support with Dimitri. Still training?
Indeed, but I was thinking about ending it here. Perhaps it is the gloomy weather, but I am feeling the sting of wounds that should have healed long ago.
What wounds?
The injury I got when that girl stabbed me after the battle at Gronder. Her eyes were filled with revenge, just as mine once were.
Who was she?
I don't know, but I have a guess. I suppose I haven't told you about that yet.
What are you talking about?
I was attacked inside the monastery the other day. It caused quite the uproar. The ones who attacked me were some of the youths we taught swordsmanship to once upon a time.
Why did they do it?
It seems they were raised by a group of thieves we put down 5 years ago. I heard Lady Rhea took custody of them, claiming that the children were innocent. I have taken so many lives, and with each one, I face hatred. During the last 5 years especially. My life was not so different from that of a wild beast. And that young girl's brother. At some point, I must have... That is why I thought it only natural that someone would retaliate someday. Because I hated. Because I stole and... because I killed. But with those children, it's different. We drew our blades with the best of intentions, only to hurt them in the end. I suppose this is yet another thing we will just have to live with.
I feel the same.
Yes. As one who chose to fight, it is my responsibility to confront this anguish and the true nature of war, until the day my life comes to an end.
We can confront it together.
Thank you. You know, Professor, there is something that I only recently realized. I never knew it could be so comforting to have someone standing by my side.
We are now free to do as we will for the month. Let's see here. First off, Dimitri can now support with people. To which he has a couple he can do. We will save that for the end of the video. So until then, we are going to bum rush the other stuff that we can do. So, alright, well, number one, it's great to see that he's, finally moving forward. We're gonna hit up exploration. And I guess we can start with the garden. Yeah, this always gives us a guaranteed like 300 points. Weird how there's only like 5-star things that I can plant. Or more that it's just, that's what ends up in the bottom of the list so early. I feel like, just playing naturally, I'd find more. But then again, I probably have to engage with something else that I'm not engaging with. Which, not shocking. Not shocking in the slightest. Hey, let's see. Alright, I imagine I'll do a battle of some sort soon. In this month. So what I want to do is...
Hello there.
Is buy smithing stones as much of these as I can.
I think.
Yeah, 25 seems actually.
Hello there.
Just
This one, yes?
buy the max amount.
I thank you. Return soon, please.
Because I'll get decent money from battles, and this is the only time I can buy them. Next thing on the list is to talk to Dimitri for the first time.
Professor.
Properly.
I really caused trouble for you, didn't I? I am so sorry, truly. I am also eternally grateful to you. Now, it's time to go to the kingdom capital. I hope that you will lend me your strength once again.
He can teach me the flag skill. You love me some flag.
Everyone is saying His Highness is back to his old self, but I do not think that is accurate. What he was until recently is what he had been for as long as I've known him. So tortured by his compassion for the fallen that it had driven him mad. He has always been too kind to be king. He has always felt too much for the weak and the dead. That is exactly why I look up to him.
I guess he is right. Things have just, things have been hard for him. It's just they became too hard.
Right.
That's the only thing, only part of him you could see at that point. Apparently he's in his room.
He'll need to excel as a leader if he's to make up for my old man's death. Though if my father could see Dimitri now, he'd be glad to have made the sacrifice. Don't you dare tell anyone I said that.
Yeah, that definitely is you. It seems Sedith is off to the side this time.
It seems we are headed for the kingdom capital this month. The Church of Seros stands ready to lend its aid to you and Dimitri. It may be a roundabout route, but I believe this path will still eventually take us to Rhea. Besides, saving the people of Vargas is just what she would want us to do.
Sure, whatever keeps you sleeping at night, I guess. Gilbert's got a quest. Yo, what's up, G-Dog?
I'm very grateful to you. I could never have achieved this on my own. This is all thanks to you and Lord Rodrigue. This month, we will invade Ferdiad by way of the Fraldarius domain. Leave the negotiations with House Fraldarius to me. You make ready for the actual battle. It's a tricky business, but we are taking our first steps forward. I have a request.
Find some flowers and give them to Gilbert. I mean, I have flowers. But I bet you want me to find some specific ones and waste my fucking time. I'm being harsh, but I'm just saying, man. Open the door. Let me out.
Unbelievable.
Must be the ones he was looking for.
This month, leave them. Is it tricky?
That still wasn't it. There must be other ones around the area? No? No, I'm not seeing any more. Could find some flowers. Let's see. I'm looking around the map, and usually they like glow. And I found some. But apparently that wasn't good enough for him. Alright, sure, whatever. Sure, man. Sure. 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 Sorry, I'm being a piece of shit. Let's go talk to besties. Where do you think they're at?
Professor?
Must be further in here.
The Kingdom Capital. It's been way too long since I was there last. Oh, Professor, I didn't mean... it's not that I'm looking forward to it or anything.
You don't have to hide it.
Please don't tease me like that. It's just, when I think of us finally saving everyone in Ferdiad, it makes me a little happy. Okay, maybe a lot happy. The Kingdom Capital is under the tight control of Cornelia, who was ennobled by the Empire. Judging by what we heard from Lord Rodrigue, it sounds like she's a tyrant. But all of that ends soon. Let's get there quickly.
Teach me.
I agree that we should head for Ferdiad, but let's not forget our search for Lady Rhea. The soldiers from the church are going to set up a base at the Great Bridge of Myrden. They'll be able to keep up the search while we head for the Kingdom Capital.
You know, greats are much more appreciated when it's like that. Like, good lord. All right, I think that's gonna do it for me. Hold on, we'll do one more check. We'll check what type of tournament this is. Advanced Axe. Recommends 36 or higher. He won't win. You won't win either, I imagine. But I have to try. I have to try.
On my honor as a knight.
He got a win, and he did. Oh, he didn't.
On my honor as a knight.
He took 2 damage, and
You were unprepared.
okay, he's
You were unprepared.
Whoa! This guy's really strong. This is it. Go for it.
On my honor as a knight.
Good job, Gilbert. So in the interest of making this episode not take 10,000 years, we'll be moving on to supports and not be showing any of the instruction that happens throughout the rest of the month, because that's all I really focus on doing. The reason is simple. It's just you've seen it before. There's nothing really that changes from it. I cut out a lot of stuff involving cooking and all that good stuff. So, support time. Let's do it. There's a lot.
He's always with that man from Dusker. How strange.
I'll bet he used some dirty tricks to gain his favor. That's how those scoundrels from Dusker operate.
What a pleasant conversation you seem to be having. May I join? Please, continue.
Oh, Your Highness, I was just...
I said continue.
I'm sorry, Your Highness.
Such foolishness runs rampant. I fear it is the reality of Fargus for now.
It must appear strange to them, to see me always in your company.
Does it bother you to do?
Of course not. However...
Let me guess. You take exception to the gossip that you use dirty tricks to obtain your position. Is that it?
That does perturb me, but not for my own sake. I am concerned about your Highness's reputation.
We're not talking about my feelings, but yours. As far as I'm concerned, those fools can talk nonsense until their tongues fall out.
I am afraid I cannot agree. But if you were not concerned for your honor in this instance, then why did you intervene?
Because it is my duty to do so. The day my father was killed, I saw the swine who did it. They were not of Dusker. I saw that, knew it beyond a doubt, and yet I was unable to prevent the massacre that followed. Nor could I clear away the dishonor of regicide that has unjustly clung to you and your people. I will not rest until I make up for that. I owe you, just as I owe the spirits of those I let die.
I do consider Fargus to be abhorrent. But you are an exception. You offered me your hand, and pulled me out from an abyss of suffering and death. You risked your life to save a foreigner you had never met. The moment you extended your hand, I decided that only for your sake would I live the remainder of my life, and I would cast it aside in an instant if my death were to your benefit. For that reason, I cannot consider myself your friend. There are still many in the kingdom who despise the people of Duscur. It would be selfish of me to stand by your side as an equal.
To do.
Your Highness?
Do you really believe I care one bit about the chatter of the ignorant?
Of course not. Please forgive my impudence.
I understand the intention of your words. Still, they grieve me. If you wish it so, you may continue to think of yourself as my vassal. I clearly cannot stop you. We need not be anything more or anything less. If that is what you wish to do, so be it.
Your Highness.
You don't look busy. Join me for some training, boar prince.
And here I thought you had no desire to speak with me.
We don't need to speak to clash swords, do we?
I suppose not. Is that one new? Wait. Where did you get such a blade?
I suppose you would recognize its value. I came upon a merchant selling weapons and found this among the rest of the steel.
That pattern around the edge. There's no doubt. It was forged by Zoltan, the master swordsmith.
I'm not giving it to you.
Huh? Oh, I'm just happy to have laid eyes on it. I don't suppose you'd allow me the chance to hold it.
Do you take me for a fool? I'm not letting a brute like you swing it around.
As though I would be careless with something so valuable.
I recall when you were 9 years old, you swung a sword so hard you snapped it clean in two.
Come now, that was so long ago. I'm hardly the fool I was then.
So you say. Yet House Fraldarius still told that story for years.
What's wrong, Felix?
How pointless. No use talking about someone who's long dead. Looking at your face is making me angry. I'm going to find a different training partner. Farewell, your beastliness.
What is going on with him?
Yeah! Yeah! Hold on! Hold on! I was getting a drink, but I was listening to it because I have wireless headphones, and I was like, oh man, that's a sword. I'd love if I just got the sword, and here we are with the sword of Zoltan. Let's keep going.
Mercedes, I'm sorry to ask this of you, but will you lend me a hand?
What can I do for you? Oh, is the cuff of your overcoat still torn? Mending that shouldn't be a problem at all.
It's pathetic, I know, but I fear my sewing skills are... well, as you can see, they're just about non-existent.
Goodness, you must have been concerned when I tore your cuff.
Ah, well... that is to say... would you please teach me to sew? I hear you're rather amazing at it.
Of course I'll teach you. Don't look so heartbroken.
You will? Thank you. Oh, I owe you for this.
I'll go get my sewing kit. You wait here. I'm so sorry, Dimitri. I've never seen, well, it's just a bit...
No need to dance around the issue. You're fed up with my clumsy efforts, aren't you?
I thought you might end up bending some needles if you tried mending this on your own, but... how did you manage to break a pair of scissors?
I'm so sorry, really. I try to be careful, but with delicate work like this, I just can't seem to manage.
There's no need to apologize, but you must have been uncomfortable making your way here with this tear.
My inability to control my own strength is humiliating. Of course I'm useless at needlework.
No giving up on yourself. You just have to practice, that's all. No matter how difficult something is, if you keep at it and don't give up, then you're sure to improve. Isn't that what you told me?
Right you are. To give in to despair isn't like me. Thank you for the reminder. Okay, I'm ready to give it another go.
Great! I'm glad to hear it. First things first, let's make sure the needle is actually threaded this time.
No! I bent another one.
Your Highness, I have one more favor to ask.
Is this about Gustav again? I have plenty more stories about him, but perhaps it is time for you to speak with him yourself.
Oh, it's not about Father this time. This time I wanted to ask about you.
About me?
I mean, I heard all about Father last time, but I didn't ask about you.
Ah, well, I'm afraid there is not much of interest for me to tell you.
Oh, it doesn't have to be funny or interesting. That's not why I'm asking. It's just that I thought I already knew you, but I'm not sure I really do. That day when we were reunited at the monastery, I didn't know what to say to you. So I wanted to prepare some of your favorite food. I thought maybe if you ate something that you liked, you'd cheer up a little. But when I got to the kitchen, I realized I didn't even know what you like to eat.
I see. Well, it's a little hard to say what my favorite is. I just don't really have any strong feelings about food. That said, you're pretty keen on sweet things, right, Annette?
Yes, that's right. I'm at my happiest when I'm digging into a sweet treat. Oh, did you know there's a famous sweet shop in the capital?
Yes. It often had long lines outside, didn't it? The castle guards often spoke of it.
The sweets were so good. They cost a fortune, but I loved them. When Father was still around, we all lived as a family in the capital. Since then, I've had them only a few times. How I'd love to taste them again.
Say, Annette, when this war is over, where will you go? I heard that you were close to Baron Dominic back in the academy days.
That's right. But that's not where I think I'd like to go when all of this is over. I reconnected with Father, so I'd like to live with my family again, in the capital. Also, if I'm in the capital, I'll be able to see you from time to time, right?
Ah, that settles it then. We'll have to get your father working twice as hard.
Father's at a ripe old age now. I'd appreciate it if you didn't work him too hard.
Oh, of course. I will keep that in mind. Finally, you score a point against me on the ground. You have improved, Ingrid.
That was nothing more than a fluke. My technique was horribly sloppy that last round.
It does not matter what sort of technique it was. You won. If this had been a real battle, I would be dead. You wielded your lance well, without any hesitation. Has your approach changed?
You may recall when I said I'm now able to move on, because of you.
I remember. What did you mean by it?
That I finally understand a truth about Glenn. It sounds as though he died with a heavy heart. A heart that carried regret. I had suspected as much. But instead of acknowledging it, I twisted my memory of him to fit an ideal I've been upholding.
I see.
Your Highness, I will not sacrifice my life for anyone. But perhaps instead, I can live my life for someone. I will pledge my life to you.
And how exactly am I meant to interpret that?
However you please, Your Highness.
Oh? Well then. Ingrid, when this is all over, I want you to support and defend me. As my knight. I have been thinking of telling you this for a long time. We get along well, you and I.
As your knight? Yes, of course. Of course I will. I intended to do so for the sake of the kingdom. Together, Your Highness. You and I. Our first order of business, putting this tragic war to an end.
Yes. And while we're at it, do not die on me, Ingrid. Promise me that.
Yes, Your Highness. I swear it on my lance.
That was getting saucy.
Why are you out and about so late, Dimitri?
Hello, Flane. I could ask you the same thing.
Me? I was feeling restless and came here to think.
I see. I'm here for the same reason.
How funny. But, are you feeling well? You look fairly pale.
It's nothing. I just have a bit of a headache.
Oh my. Headaches are quite troublesome, are they not? I am sure it will subside soon. Actually, I am quite talented when it comes to healing magic. If you will allow me, I will have you feeling better in no time.
That's kind of you, but I'm fine.
But why not? Have I offended you somehow?
This headache is something I've dealt with for a while now. Ever since my family and friends were murdered before my eyes. I must never forget that day. I must never allow their deaths to be forgotten. I feel this headache is a reminder of sorts. Of those I failed to protect. And of their murderers who still roam free.
I see. That would explain your somber demeanor. Still, I do not agree with all you are saying. I feel that if I were your father or any of your dear friends whom you lost, I would want you to let go of me eventually. I would never want someone whom I care deeply for to be pained by the loss of me for eternity. And I doubt they would want that either.
Perhaps. Unfortunately, they have left this world, so I can no longer ask their preference.
We cannot ask them directly, but we can imagine how they might have felt. You know who they were as people. As for me, if I am ever to be but a memory in your future, I want you to remember me in a way that brings you joy. I would want you to smile when you recalled me, to feel warmed by the notion that I cherished your company. I cannot imagine I am the only one who feels this way. Surely, anyone who loved another would wish only for their peace and happiness. I must apologize. I was out of line, clearly. I must get some rest now. Please do not stay up too late yourself.
Good night, Flane. And thank you. Gustav, it has been 8 years since I last called you by that name.
Your Highness, I must deeply apologize for leaving the kingdom without permission.
There is no need to explain, old friend. I can guess at your reasons. The tragedy of Duscur. You felt responsible for that incident and sought respite in the goddess, abandoning your name, rank, and homeland in repentance. Am I right?
I have no excuses to offer. It was all I could think to do.
I always knew you for a pious man, and I figured that if you were to leave, this is where you would end up. You have changed much. Your face does not have the same resolve it once did.
If I may, Your Highness, you have changed as well.
I can't disagree.
It was my duty to protect His Majesty, your father. Naturally, that also included Lady Patricia and yourself as well.
My father and mother are gone. No amount of regret will bring them back.
My dreams are haunted by the thought that, had I arrived at Duscur more swiftly...
You saved my life at Duscur. I have only gratitude for you, no blame to speak of. I wish for you to remain in the kingdom, Gustav, even after this conflict is over. I need your strength to help rebuild the ravaged land that Fargus has become.
Please, I beg your forgiveness, but there is no place left for me in that land.
I see. Though much has changed, your stubbornness remains. I have no desire to trouble you. If you do not wish to return, that is your choice to make. But I do advise you to at least visit the place of your birth, if only for your family's sake.
Yes, Your Highness. Thank you. I appreciate your concern.
Next is Doo-Doo. Huh? No. No.
You don't like to talk much, huh, Doo-Doo?
I am not skilled in conversation.
Any particular reason?
Reason? I am only here at the monastery because this is where His Highness wishes me to be. Many here are frightened of me, disgusted by me. I grow weary of it.
That makes sense. A lot of people hate Dusker. They think all kinds of terrible things. Some of them even think you kidnap and eat people.
We sound like true monsters.
Why are you smiling? Shouldn't it make you angry?
I suppose.
If those people would just talk to you, I'm sure they'd change their minds. I'll admit that when I first got here, I found you kind of intimidating. I didn't know if it was okay to talk to you. I hesitated. But like I said before, I just wanted to get to know you. And now that I have, I'm not scared at all.
I am not very good at interesting conversation.
We can work on that. Tell me about Dusker. What was your hometown like?
Calm. More forested than Fargus. Each town had a specialty. Smithing, fishing. You would be better off reading about it in a book.
Okay, maybe you're right. But answer me one thing. You're a great cook and you learned at home. Why don't you make more Dusker-style food?
As we have established, people hate Dusker. Food by itself may be harmless, but it is better not to sow seeds of discontent.
Ah. But the cuisine of Dusker is delicious. I'd really like to try more of it.
I am pleased to hear you say so.
I think I get it. So the Sky God got into an argument with the Earth God, then Dusker was created?
To oversimplify it somewhat, yes.
There's something so mysterious about it. There are only mountains separating us from Dusker, but it's like a completely different world. This has been so interesting. I've never learned so much about it before.
There are not many left to pass on the legends of Dusker.
Really? That's a shame. It's almost like when someone dies, or a family line ends. I think a place is only truly destroyed when there's no one left to remember it. You should tell more people about Dusker to keep it alive.
That is a strange thing to say.
Oh? Why do you think that?
Dusker is forever the enemy of Fargus. No one cares about our culture or history.
I'm different, though. I don't know anyone who was killed by the people of Dusker. I don't hold a grudge against you, and I never have. Doo-Doo? Is this recipe from Dusker?
You don't care for it?
No. I was actually surprised by how much I enjoyed it. Would you teach me how to make it soon?
But it seems I am ever the teacher with you, and seldom the student.
You're right. I'm so sorry. I have an idea. My mother taught me to bake the perfect sweets to go with tea. Would you like to learn how to bake them? It's a secret Martritz family recipe that's been passed down for generations.
House Martritz of the Empire? I thought they were no more.
It's true. My father's family was wiped out in the Empire. I'm the last living descendant.
Are you certain you wish to impart such precious memories to me?
Of course. Now that my family's gone, I'm the only one who knows the secret. The sweets would vanish from Fodlan if something happened to me.
I see your point. Yes, I would like to learn.
Oh, this is delicious. I can't believe I made it.
Yes, you do have some talent.
What's the matter? Have I got something on my face?
No, Sylvain. Recently I've heard rumors about you.
Oh yeah? Which ones? Is it that I'm terrible to girls? Or the rumor where I bring terrible misfortune to the girls I date? I don't, by the way, in case you're about to ask. Oh, I also heard about how I'm total trash and everyone should avoid me. That might be my favorite.
Well, you don't lack for self-awareness.
The way I figure it, if I can't be respected, I can at least be well informed.
You are being described as indefensibly worthless.
Indefensibly? That's a bit harsh.
I already knew your reputation concerning women, but these new rumors deprive you of all redemption. I did try to correct them, but I doubt I was believed.
Well, thank you all the same. Listen, you don't need to worry what people think about me. As you well know, it's not easy to correct misunderstandings or change people's minds. And if I'm going to behave so badly, it seems misunderstandings are inevitable.
I could not be silent. You saw me as a person, rather than merely as someone from Duscur. I want you to be seen as a person, too.
I appreciate that, Dedu. You think the world will ever see us that way?
Maybe.
I can't tell if you're joking or not, but I like it.
Then we will get along.
I'm sorry. So sorry.
What is it, Annette?
I completely forgot that it's my turn for kitchen duty today. Huh? Did you do all the kitchen prep already?
Kitchen duty is mine today.
What? But, oh, did I get the day wrong?
Yes, yours is tomorrow.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Wow, I really am something else.
These things happen. Is something funny?
Oh, no, I was just happy. So, you probably already know this, but my uncle is really strict. He wanted me to be perfect at cooking, studying, cleaning, washing, everything really. He said if I wasn't perfect, as a knight's daughter, I'd be devaluing my crest. Whenever I messed up, he looked so mad, and he'd sigh like he just lost his faith in humanity.
That is harsh.
Oh, I know he loved me and all. He was just kind of scary. But you've helped me out and been patient with me without getting mad. I'm just so happy. Thank you, Dedu.
I have hardly done anything.
You know what? You reminded me of my father.
Of Gilbert.
You look scary at first glance, but you're actually really kind.
Is that so?
Oh, right. Let me help you with something, if that's okay with you. What are you cooking today? Hopefully I can chip in.
It is a meat dish from Fargus.
I'm still a complete klutz, so I'm not gonna be in the way, am I?
Not at all. I was hoping that the food I made would bring a smile to your face.
Oh, wow. That's... Well then, I can't wait for dinner time.
Good. Chop the vegetables into bite-sized pieces. After that, skim the top layer off the pan. Be mindful of the heat.
Certainly, Chef Dedu.
There is no need to call me that. Are you displeased?
No, not in the slightest. I just got momentarily sleepy. It happens to me from time to time. Let me see. First, chop the vegetables. Coming right up, Chef. Did you?
Good.
I am so bored. Day in and day out, it is nothing but dicing vegetables and waiting for water to boil. I want to feel like I am actually cooking. It is not as though I do not know the basics. He could at least let me hold the spatula sometime.
Next, we peel the vegetables.
Chef Dudu, I was hoping to speak with you regarding something that has been on my mind.
Speak?
Surely you have noticed my skill while wielding pans and knives. Therefore, I think it is time you taught me how to cook. Beyond all this water boiling and vegetable chopping business.
Impossible.
But why?
All must be done in the proper sequence. And the first step here, whether you like it or not, is to learn to use the tools perfectly.
Come now! You have seen how I use a ladle. You know I'm good for it. He has left me no option but to take matters into my own hands. Stubborn you may be, Chef Dudu, but I will show you the true meaning of delicious.
The monastery burned down that day. We will continue the 18 million supports with Gilbert.
Ah, hello. Dudu, yes?
Finished praying?
I am, yes. You have grown much since I saw you last. You're a man now.
You barely know me.
True. I suppose we did only meet a handful of times.
As haggard as you look now, you were even worse when I last saw you in the capital.
Haggard, eh? True enough.
Still weighed down by the same regret, I see.
I was unable to protect the king. That is the ultimate failure. One I must atone for.
If you have the spare time to beg forgiveness, then pick up a lance and train.
That would do nothing to atone for the dead.
Your prayers are mere self-indulgence.
You do not understand.
No, I do not. Fargus needed you. His Highness needed you.
There was no other choice but for me to leave. What would you have done if you were in my place? If His Highness had died due to your failures?
If he commanded me to live, then I would live. Otherwise, I would die with him. I have nothing left to lose other than His Highness. Home, family, all but that man I have already lost. You were a knight in service to the king for decades. Not only did you excel in bravery, wisdom, and tactics, but in matters of character, you were an ideal knight, utterly above reproach. That is what His Highness has always said. I have only come this far by modeling my conduct after his stories of you. But now...
Forget those words spoken by His Highness. I am no different a man than I was before, beaten down by sin, alone and weak. I am lost and irredeemable.
Well, with Dudu and Dimitri done, I would hope that we start eliminating some of these supports in bulk.
Do you need something? Let's hear it.
Oh, no, I don't need anything. I was just hoping to talk to you, Felix.
When I said you could be near me, I meant on the battlefield. You're pushing it a little too far. You better not start calling me Emil.
You know, I'm not just using you as a stand-in for my brother. I don't mean to upset you.
But I've come to realize that you two don't have that much in common after all.
I don't understand. Why are you hanging around me if not to replace your brother?
It's not that I want to be near Emil, but I want to be near you.
What?
How embarrassing. It must sound like I'm coming on to you. Regardless, you've made it clear that you don't want me around.
No. It's not that.
Good. Then I'll continue to spend time at your side.
What a perplexing creature.
What's that? Did you say something? Never mind that. Why don't we go out for a nice cup of tea?
I can't think of a reason to refuse your invitation, so I suppose I have to accept.
Alright, you have a few. Let's do the last Sylvain one.
Sylvain!
Hey, Felix. I'm glad you're safe.
You irresponsible fool! Protecting me like that? You're so weak and yet you always...
Look, it doesn't matter. As long as you're safe. You can go on living, while I...
Stop kidding around! You're not going to die. I won't let you!
What the fuck happened?
Nah, I won't die on you, I promise. You think something like this could kill me? No way. A little magic will take care of the wound. Some bed rest, then I'm good to go out and do it all over again.
Sylvain?
Oh, come on, that was funny. It's not like you to be so concerned.
You really are a fool. The biggest in all of Fodlan. I thought something was off. There's no way you could die from such a small cut. You're so reckless and inattentive. I thought this might be divine punishment.
Hey, that's not nice. You should be thanking me.
I am grateful. You've been doing this since we were children. Constantly fooling around, but then showing up and helping when we really need you. I'll admit, seeing that smile on your face, I almost want to give you a hug. Almost.
A hug? Did you get hit on the head? Come on. Tell me you want to hug me again. I liked it.
I won't be repeating it, you half-wit. You're obviously fine, so I'll leave now.
You know how we grew up together?
Obviously.
Do you remember the promise we made when we were kids? About sticking together until we die together?
I remember.
Well, I'm really not trying to get myself killed before you. You know that, right?
I know. But I'm tired of these close calls. You have to stop fooling around. Take your training more seriously. You can die whenever you please, but I'm not going down with you.
Okay, I get it. Once I've healed, I'll get my act together.
Then I hope you have a speedy recovery. Sylvain, thank you.
That's what friends are for, Felix.
And that's how it's done.
Good to know. There are so many differences between bows and blades.
Yes, you're a quick learner, Leone, and quite a good teacher as well.
Must be Captain Gerald's influence. The weather, the terrain, the enemy's feelings. You have to find ways to make it all work for you.
I agree. A warrior can't stick too closely to predefined tactics. That's quite shrewd. You're impressive for a girl.
For a girl? Come on, you're past that. Looking down on your opponent is a great way to fall into a pit trap, isn't it?
I suppose that's true.
Glad you remember.
I still have much to learn. Not only about swordplay, but also about thinking on my feet. I hope to learn more from you, Leone.
Count on it. We'll come up with plenty of new ideas if we work together. Guess that means we're partners, doesn't it?
We're what?
Partners. Friends who help each other improve.
Huh. Partners. That's not bad.
Not at all. Looking forward to working with you, partner.
Likewise, partner. Flane, what's that you're hiding?
Oh no, my surprise is spoiled. I had brought some fruits for you to cut up in addition to the firewood. I thought some variation might prove amusing.
No, I'm not doing that again. I've got better uses for my sword than chopping up fruit and firewood.
I cannot imagine what could be better than chopping fruit.
Chopping up my enemies.
You say that as though you have many enemies. So you would rather chop people than firewood, is that it?
That's not how I'd put it, but a blade's purpose is to kill. To chop wood, use an axe. To chop food, use a knife. It's simple.
Surely it is not forbidden to use your sword for other things, like chopping fruit. Swords that cut inanimate objects are serving a much finer purpose than those that cut living beings.
What a noble sentiment. But without a blade to cut down your enemies, you cannot win. Those who are weak lose everything and they die. Those who are strong win and live on. I understand why you balk at bloodshed, but you must know that it has a purpose.
And what purpose might that be?
A purpose. Let's just leave it at that. I'm not in the mood to debate you. I'll continue to wield my sword, and if necessary, cut down my enemies.
He certainly is a stubborn one.
You will eliminate him.
Hey Ingrid, how are you? I mean, what are you? Are you, off to train again?
No, I'm headed to town to buy supplies. But I'll be training after that, naturally. Why?
Oh, I just thought you looked serious as ever. I guess that part of you hasn't changed.
Of course it hasn't. I am as I ever was.
Yeah, no, I mean, I guess you're right.
You're being weird. Have you always been this weird and I just never noticed?
No, I'm pretty sure. I don't think so. By the by, have you, fallen for anybody recently?
Don't be ridiculous. What are you even bumbling on about?
Well, everyone's been talking about how you got really, pretty. Just, all of a sudden.
Oh, you must be referring to the makeup. It's not a big deal or anything, just experimenting. I'm still learning. Did I mess something up?
Huh? No, I think it looks good. You did surprisingly well. I mean, considering that it's you.
Very funny. But I must say, I'm a bit surprised. It's unlike you to stumble over yourself this much.
What? No, I'm not. I'm just, curious about why. All of a sudden.
Why what? Why I'm wearing makeup?
I'm still guessing it's for a guy. If I had to try and guess what sort of guy, I suppose I'd say... Felix? No, wait. I'm forgetting the royal line. Dimitri would be a way better catch.
Wow, way to make assumptions.
Is it one of the knights? If it's not them... Wait, could it be me?
Don't make me hurt you.
No need for violence, it was just a joke. I mean... It's not a joke that you're beautiful, but I wasn't trying to hit on you or anything. Promise.
Beautiful, huh?
Hey.
Hey, Leonie. I mean, hello, beautiful. What brings a sweet girl like you to a place like this?
I just came to the greenhouse to look at flowers. What's with you?
Nothing much. Nothing much. I was just thinking about how sunflowers don't deserve to be stuffed away in a greenhouse. They bloom better out in the open, just like you.
Could you cut the weird metaphors and just say what you want to say? Oh wait, I get it. I'm not ladylike enough to fit in with all the pretty flowers.
No, okay, that compliment backfired. Let me try a different angle.
This is a joke, right? Tell me this is a joke.
What have you got against sunflowers anyway? I think they're lovely myself. If you think I only care about delicate flowers raised in a greenhouse, you've got me all wrong. Statuesque sunflowers, blooming proud and tall in the open air, have a beauty all their own.
Is that right?
You better believe it. And the same goes for you. You have a beauty unlike any other. I look at you and I see sunflowers.
Look, can you just go back to normal?
At this point, I feel like anything I say is just going to make you more angry.
Why are you suddenly not capable of carrying on a normal conversation?
My eyes have been opened to the charms of the beautiful flower blooming right beside me. It's a whole new day for my heart.
You can quit messing with me at any time.
I'm not. I'm absolutely serious. You really are as charming as any flower. I see that now.
Would you stop? This is getting weird.
Even sincerity doesn't work? What kind of flirting is going to satisfy you? You know what? I'm just going to leave you alone for now, so I can get a fresh start some other time.
Right. Bye. Charming? Me, of all people. Like I'd actually believe that. Stupid.
Hey, attempts were made.
Sylvain.
Hi. Why do you look so down? But hey, if you're talking to me of your own accord, can I assume you've figured out I'm not a monster?
I wanted to apologize about my treatment of you earlier, Sylvain. I am not normally one to put stock in such rumors.
Nothing to be upset about. I mean, I've kind of earned that reputation. I've got this sickness. When I see a pretty girl, I can't stop myself from flirting with her. Like you, for instance.
Oh, I am so sorry to hear of your illness. Perhaps my magic will help heal you.
Huh? No, I didn't mean it like that.
No? Are you not ill then?
You know what? Let's move on. Can I take this to mean everything is good between us?
Of course. Sylvain, I look forward to getting to know you without the falsity of rumors.
Great. Would you like to celebrate our new friendship by joining me for a meal?
You would treat me to a feast? That is very kind of you.
A chance to spend time with a sweet girl like yourself? It's a pleasure. Your voice like birdsong, your eyes clear as diamonds. But above all, I'm drawn to your kind and loving heart. I am a captive to your charms, Flayn.
I hear that very frequently. Thank you.
Yeah, I guess a girl as cute as you would get a lot of compliments.
Anyway, what type of meal were you considering, Sylvain? I would love some seafood, followed by a delicious cake. Oh, I am absolutely famished, as I often am. Shall we be on our way?
She's a tough one. Sheltered girls like her usually fall for that kind of stuff. But she's much too savvy, even for a smooth talker like myself.
Well, we're done. That was too many supports. I'm pretty burned out. I guess I'm done for today. Next time, we'll be doing the mission next week, which means I have to focus on battling for now. I'll probably do all 3 of these. This will give me enough stuff that I'll be feeling pretty good about myself. So I'll do that. We'll join back up in the next episode and take on the whole capital thing. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Fire Emblem Three Houses. Oh man, that was a lot.